got your attention, have we? Right. Good day. I'm Commander Knowledge, but you can call me CK, okay? Today, something a little bit different. And when we're finished, you're going to realise, probably for the first time in your little lives, the fact that the acquisition of knowledge brings with it responsibility. No longer will you be able to say things like, well, what could I do? I didn't know. You see, the fact is, we the humans have got some problems. Well, to be more precise, you've got them. Because although it's us older humans who've created the problems, these are problems which are getting worse. And it's you, the younger ones, who are going to have to sort them out. Yes. You. So, let's start at the beginning. It's a word which begins with the letter E. So, are you ready to blow your mind with the acquisition of knowledge? Very well, so be it. The word is energy! If I tell you right now just where nearly all the world's energy comes from, you probably won't believe me. But I will tell you this now, just to get your potentially devastatingly powerful little brains ticking over. It's all about these. In fact, to be more specific, it's all about the colour green. The green we see everywhere in the natural world. Right, now we're going to take a little look around and see just exactly what we do with the energy and all the different places that we've got it stored up. So if you're ready, pay attention, eyes alert, onward! So, what exactly do we do with this energy? Tell you what, let's take a close look at what's going on here. Well, for starters, everything that moves is using energy. There's me and the other humans. We use energy that's stored up in grub. But what about all the other moving entities? There goes the plane, the boat, the car, and let's not forget the motorbike. Well, these entities are all using energy that's stored up in petroleum products, which in turn are stored up at their petrol station. So, what's going on there? Well, the petrol's moved from the storage tanks to the cars using pumps that are getting their energy from electricity. And apart from movement, it's energy that's responsible for heating and lighting. Like over there. Well, there's a lot of energy action going on here. Take the kebab. It's heat energy that's being used to cook it. And the heat comes by converting energy that's stored up in gas. And what have we here? Ah, burgers. Being cooked by electrical energy, it's being converted into heating energy. And look over there. That's a microwave oven. It's cooking rice by converting electrical energy into, yes, microwave or electromagnetic energy. But as well as for cooking, it's energy that's used when things get cooled down. Normally more electrical energy. And probably the most visible use of energy is when it's used for light. More electrical energy again. In fact, this electricity is extremely popular. Some of the electricity we use comes from batteries, stored up electricity, but most of it comes directly from places like this. power stations. In this one, the energy that's used to make the electricity comes from diesel oil, which is stored up here. When more electricity is needed, more diesel oil gets converted. It works like this. First, the energy that's held in the diesel oil has to be released. This is done by burning the oil in a diesel engine, which converts it into movement energy in the form of a rotating shaft. Now, the next thing that happens is that this movement energy is converted into electricity. The rotating shaft is used to drive this device, which converts the rotational energy into electrical energy. Most of the electricity we use is made from oil and coal, but there are problems with these fuels. First, they're not renewable. Once you've used them, they're gone. And second, when we do use them, gases are produced that are very bad for the environment. But more about that later. There are, however, other ways of producing electricity which don't have these problems. Let's take a closer look at that boat.
Port control.
These days, boats use quite a lot of electricity.
Port control, Geneve.
But on lots of boats, there's no room to carry coal or oil.
Just confirming that they don't.
So what we have here is the sun's energy being converted into electricity by using this very clever device which is called a solar panel. And because the sun keeps on returning every day, this is called renewable energy. Another renewable energy source popular with boats is wind power. This wind-driven propeller is connected to and is powering a generator of electricity. This is the southernmost part of Spain. And the one thing that dominates this area above all others, it's normally extremely windy. Which is why it's Europe's #1 windsurfing centre. And which is also why the surrounding hills are literally covered with wind-powered generators, supplying electricity to the surrounding towns. But let's take a worldwide view of energy supplies. First, let's list the places that we get the energy from. Oil, gas, coal, wood, wind, solar, water, nuclear, and let's say others, things like hot water springs. They can be split into two distinct groups. The first group is fossil fuels. They include oil, coal, gas and wood, wood being really just a very young version of coal. The second group are non-fossil fuels and logically include all the rest. Now, when we look at these two groups to see exactly where we get the energy from, we see this. A staggering 90% of all the energy we use comes from fossil fuels. So the question is, what exactly are these fossil fuels anyway? It's back to the green! Well, for starters, these fossils are all made of the same stuff called organic chemicals, which is exactly where all the energy gets stored up. But this energy wasn't always stored in fossil fuels. In fact, the fossil fuels used to be something else. Going back in time a bit, these organic chemicals happen to be the very same chemicals that all living things in the world are made of. So yes, you've guessed it, fossil fuels used to be living things. In fact, to be precise, they're nothing more than very old, dead plants and animals, which is exactly where the energy was stored in the first place. And I can see what you're thinking now. You're thinking, well, if the animals and plants had the energy, then the animals must have got it by eating the plants, but where did the plants get it from? Perfect! That's exactly the right question! We're almost there now. because as it happens, surprise, surprise, the energy doesn't come from the Earth, it all comes from just one place. It all comes from the sun. Now, the normal effect of the sun is to heat things up. But the good old plants are able to get a hold of the sun's energy and store it up. Now, this ability is thanks to, guess what? Come on, think. It's the stuff that colours everything green. And this is what happens. Green leaf. Sun shines on leaf. Whoa, hold on a minute. Now, as we know, normally when the sun shines on something, its energy gets used up in making that thing hot. But that's not what happens with the leaf. Oh no. Thanks to the green stuff, it's called chlorophyll. The sun's energy gets used inside the leaf to make, well, of course, organic chemicals. Well, you'll remember the sun's energy is stored up. Back to the story. There's a gas in the air called carbon dioxide, and there's water in the ground. The leaf gets the water from the ground through its roots, and it absorbs this carbon dioxide from the air. What's that? What about plants that live underwater? Oh, very clever. Well, they get carbon dioxide which is dissolved in the water. All right. Carry on. Okay, now comes the clever bit. The real magic. It's called photosynthesis. The leaf takes the water and the carbon dioxide and effectively glues them together with the sun's energy, which results in this new organic chemical called glucose, which has got all the sun's energy, and also the leaf releases out into the air that most wonderful of gases, pure, clean oxygen. So now you're beginning to understand a little bit about what's going on in the world. And before I go, I'll just tell you a little bit more, so that you're ready for the next time we meet. In the very early days of the Earth, there were no animals, no plants, and it was very hot. The atmosphere had lots more carbon dioxide in it than it does now, and there was hardly any oxygen in it. The first type of life that did start to develop on Earth was plant life. And of course, as soon as that started, the carbon dioxide began to be taken out of the atmosphere by the leaves, and oxygen was put into it. Right. The next time we meet, you're going to be introduced to your problems. Problems which have got everything to do with oxygen and carbon dioxide. So we'll see you then. Maybe.